Okay, so the second dark side to being a server or waitress in a restaurant, especially if you're a female, is that you get hit on by a lot of men. Like, you get sometimes sexual harassment from a lot of men. Like, if you're a server, you know what I'm talking about. Girl, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a server and you're just walking around doing your stuff, taking care of your tables, you have guys sitting at the bar that will always try to talk to you, will always try to like, hey, come here, do you have a second, blah blah blah. No, I don't have a second, boo, I'm busy. Like, busy. So they would always try to talk to you, they would always try to have your number, they would always try to like ask you about stuff that you're not even interested in. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Madina and I'm back with another video. In today's video, guys, I'm gonna be sharing with you the dark side to being a waitress or a server in a restaurant. As you know, or you may not have known, I have been a waitress for almost a year and a half. I've worked at 2 different restaurants, so I've had a lot of experience with waitressing, and some of them not so good, guys, not good. So yeah, I'm here to share with you the dark side to being a waitress or server, what no one talks about. And if it's something you would like, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, like, share, comment, and let's get right into the video. Okay, I'm just gonna get right into the video, guys. The first thing that waitresses go through that a lot of people don't talk about, the dark side to being a waitress, is that you are literally nothing. When I say nothing, I mean literally nothing. You are nothing in the eyes of the customers, sometimes the eyes of the managers. So I'm going to talk about the customers first. Customers treat you like you are trash, like you are their servant, not their server. They would talk to you however they feel like they can talk to you. They would order you around. When I say order you around, I don't mean like, no, go get me something. No, they would order you around. Some of them would just be that mean to tell you to bring 100 things at 100 different times, rather than telling me to bring 100 things one time so I can go get the 100 things you want and just bring it off to you. You would tell me to go bring salt, you would tell me to go bring ketchup, you would tell me to go bring, just tell me what you need. Tell me what you need and I'm gonna go get it for you at the same time. You can't be sending me back and forth, back and forth. That's why I say that guests treat you like trash. They treat you like you're a servant, not your server, and that is so wrong. If you are watching this and you treat servers like that, you really need to change your ways. Like, now, because we go through a lot. We deal with almost 50 to 100 guests every single day, and you cannot treat us like that. It's just not right. So also, some guests will like leave like their baby diapers on the table for you to clean up. That's something you can just pick up, put in a trash bag, or put in a bag or paper bag or whatever, take outside with you and throw in the trash. But no, they will leave their diapers on the table for the server to come clean up. So yeah, the guests sometimes are just literally mean. When I say mean, they are mean. They are mean. Let's say like there is a problem with the food, right? They will put it on you. You're a server, you're not a cook, but you still to get to like hear about the problem they have with their food, and you still get to have some of the insults and the anger that they're unleashing about the food on you. Rather than talking to a manager or just talking to the cook who made the food, you're talking to me. Point blank, servers are nothing to the eyes of the customers. You're just someone there to serve their food. Sometimes they treat you like you're not even human. Sad but true. Sad but true. All right. Okay, so the second dark side to being a server or waitress in a restaurant, especially if you're a female, is that you get hit on by a lot of men. Like, you get sometimes sexual harassment from a lot of men. Like, if you're a server, you know what I'm talking about. Girl, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a server and you're just walking around doing your stuff, taking care of your tables, you have guys sitting at the bar that will always try to talk to you, will always try to like, hey, come here, do you have a second, blah blah blah. No, I don't have a second, boo, I'm busy. Like, busy. So they would always try to talk to you, they would always try to have your number, they would always try to like ask you about stuff that you're not even interested in. Yeah, being sexually harassed sometimes by the men, sometimes they touch you inappropriately when you don't give them a permission to touch you. And trust me, sometimes these managers don't even do anything about it. They don't. Talking about managers, discrimination amongst servers is another issue we face being a waitress. Like if you're a waitress, let's say waitressing pays a lot of money, right? Not a lot of money, but sometimes you can make really good money from being a waitress. So you can't make this money if you don't have a good section. So as servers, we have something we call sections. So sections are pretty much like oh, you're gonna have this part of the restaurant, this is your part, this every guest who sits on this part is gonna be your guest, you're gonna take care of that guest, and the other server is gonna have this part, so whoever sits at this part is gonna be your guest. So sometimes managers always try to discriminate against servers. They give some servers very huge sections and very big sections, they make a lot of money, and they give some other servers very small sections, like literally no one wants to sit in that section, but you have that section. So while some servers may maybe make $300 a day, some other servers may go home with $50 a day, and that is not fair. I feel like servers should have equal sections because we're all doing the same job and we're all there to make money. We all get paid a federal minimum income of about $215. I think it's $215. I don't know for the US. I never check my paycheck, by the way. But yeah, we all need to like make enough money to take care of ourselves. You know, some servers cannot go home with $300 and some other servers go home with $50. It doesn't make any sense. Give servers equal sections. So sometimes discrimination against the servers by the managers can be a very, very huge problem when dealing in a restaurant. Like the fourth reason why I say there is a dark side to being a waitress is because of the emotional strain and trauma that we go through. Being a server or a waitress is literally one of the hardest jobs on the planet. You can search that on Google. You can search that anywhere. Being a server is literally one of the hardest and most strenuous jobs on the planet. We don't only have to deal with the customers, the managers, we have to deal with the cooks, we have to deal sometimes with the servers fighting amongst each other. Being a server is literally one of the hardest jobs, and not everybody can be a server. That's why while working as a server, so many people would come in today and the next day they're gone, they're out, like they quit. Boom, they're out, they quit. So being a server is very, very hard. It's very, very strenuous, and it's very, very traumatic. And you have to do a lot of things. You have to memorize the menu. You have to memorize the guest orders. Sometimes the guest want special orders, like I don't want no salt, I don't want no pepper, I don't want no onions. You have to memorize all of those or just write it down. It's just a lot of work, you know. Even when there is a complaint about the food, it's your fault. Like everything is your fault. You get blamed for every little thing. So being a server is literally very, very hard. Like very hard. And the fact that we don't get any support or assistance from anyone, like it's just so hard that you have to deal with that all by yourself. And I do respect servers and bartenders more than I do any other kind of profession, because they go through a lot. So the emotional strain, the emotional trauma is also one of the dark sides to being a server. When the guest is upset, that makes you to feel upset. When the guest throws in the bad word, that makes your whole day bad. You know, sometimes the guest may not realize what they're saying, but your words actually affect you. You know what I'm saying? So being a server is very, very hard, guys. Very hard. So the fifth dark side to being a waitress or a server is basically you don't have any social life. Take your social life and throw it out of the window. Out of the window. You don't have a social life, especially if you work the weekends, and most servers want to work the weekends because we make most of our money on the weekends. So basically you have to work the weekends. Sometimes you have to work a double shift. Sometimes you have to cover up for other servers who couldn't make it for work that day. You don't have a social life, honey. You don't have a social life. You work pretty much every single day, maybe have a day or two off, that's it. You don't have a social life, period. Okay, so the sixth dark side to being a waitress or a server is pretty much the pay, guys. In Georgia, the pay is about $2.25 an hour in Georgia. I'm not exactly sure, but it just depends on the state. But for Georgia, I think it's $2.15 or $2.25. I'm not exactly sure, but the pay is that small. You don't earn up to $3 from being a server. Most of your money comes from the tips that you get from your service. And this is so bad because some nights you might go home with $300, some nights you might go home with $100, some nights you might go home with $200, some nights you might go with $50. So the inconsistent pay with this job, it's just mind-blowing. You never know how much you're gonna get in a week. So that kind of makes it hard for you to know how to plan your bills and stuff. You have to wait till you make the money before you plan your bills. So the inconsistent pay is just mind-blowing. Talking of inconsistent pay, I'm gonna go guest who don't leave a tip. Guys, yes, it is required by law for you to leave at least 15 to 20% off to the server who served you. In Georgia or anywhere, most of the states, basically, no one respects tips anymore. You know, everyone comes, eat your food, pay their bills, and boom, they're out. They don't care if you don't make enough money. They don't care about you. They don't care what salary you make. They don't. And that's literally my biggest pet peeve, because especially the guests who give you the most work, like they're the ones who give you the most work to do, but they don't tip you. They leave. Some of them won't try to walk out on your bill. I remember during my time as a waitress, I caught about 2 or 3 people trying to walk out on their bill. That's another thing I'm gonna come to. But yeah, they don't tip you. They just walk out. They don't tip you. You go to a restaurant and you eat food and served by someone who earns maybe $2 an hour and you don't tip. If you don't have enough money, just order takeout or don't even come to the restaurant to sit down and get your food served, because you need to tip your servers. Please, it's very, very important. These people go through a lot of work, a lot of stress. You just need to tip them. Tip your servers. It's very, very important that you tip your servers. Okay, the 7th dark side to being a server, which kind of ties down to what I just said earlier, is having guests walk out on their bill. Guys, guests will literally ask you to go to the back of the house and get them something because they're trying to walk out. So you always got to be smart. You know, even if you're going back to like get something and you know it might take you a little longer to get that thing, ask another server to put an eye on that table so they can be able to watch the table and make sure they don't leave. I remember actually getting someone trying to leave. I had to walk to the door and tell them, oh, you didn't pay your bill. You know, they were trying to run out. They will walk out on you. They will run away from you, and you're gonna have to deal with the managers, or you're gonna have to pay the bill, whatever your restaurant rules are. You're just gonna have to deal with that. So you just don't want that. Always put an eye on your guests, because they are not honest. They don't tip, and they're just gonna walk out on you. They're gonna eat your food, and boom. You need to be smart. You know, you need to be smart to be a server. So dealing with all that kind of ties down again to what I said about stress. When you have a guest walk out on you, you just have to deal with that stress. Or how am I going to pay back this money? How am I going to deal with getting a write-up? Because some managers will write you up for like having the guest walk out on the bill. So you're having to deal with all that. Is literally just so depressing and so strenuous. So that's what no one talks about being a waitress, but it's very, very important that we try to fix these problems that we're having as waitresses or as servers. All right, so another thing with servers, it's like managers will try to hit on you. Like managers will try to talk to you, whether married or not married, whether they have kids or they don't have kids. Some managers, especially if you're like pretty and stuff, this actually happened to me. They will try to talk to you, bro. They will try to talk to you. They will try to convince you. They will try to tell you. They'll give you a good schedule. They'll give you a nice section, blah, blah, blah. Don't. Do not. I've had this problem, and it's literally made me quit my first waitressing job because of this problem. So just don't give in to managers trying to talk to you. Don't feel like because they're the managers, they can get away with it. You can report them. You can talk to someone. Just don't give in to them. If they're trying to do this to you, talk to someone, call the corporate. Don't be scared. To all my servers, do not be scared. If you're going through this, you're experiencing this at work, this is something a lot of servers go through, a lot of them. And some of them, because they want to make this money, they just give into it. sis, no. Don't give into it. If he's forcing you to do something you don't want to do not do it. Go to a higher authority and tell that person, and trust me when I say actions are going to be taken. You know, don't just do it because he said he's going to give you a good section, he's going to give you a good schedule. To not do it. So this is what managers do. They try to come at you, they try to hit on you. Do not do it. Do not. All right, my last thing that I would like to say about waitressing being a very, very hard and difficult job is the lack of sleep. Like, you work pretty much maybe 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. at night. You come back home, but you have to be back there and probably 8 a.m. to open up the restaurant and start cleaning and stuff. This is literally crazy. Like, this is literally crazy. You don't get any sleep. And all of this is just so stressful. Like, sleep is very, very important. So if your job is not giving you enough sleep, find something that works for you. You know, don't just give into that. I don't do waitressing anymore. I stopped being a waitress. I quit again because it's something I cannot continue to do. It kind of affected my health, my mental health and stuff, and I cannot continue to do that. What I saw, definitely a no-no. So yeah, that was the last tip I had for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'm trying to do a part 2 where I said 20 things I hate about being a waitress. If you want to see that, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to do that for you. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, comment, and most importantly, guys, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be sure to see you in my next one. Bye guys.